Hey everyone, Updog here, and today I got a new series that I am thinking about doing, and I have Beniwestside here with me as my first guinea pig. And I'm going to be calling this Origin Story. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the people in the community. I'm going to start with a couple envoys, that way people kind of know who they are, but I'm going to learn a little bit more about them, maybe like their uh, interests growing up or whatever the case may be, whatever they feel like talking about. So let's get into it. How's it going, Benny?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I haven't streamed for almost a week, so it feels good to be back. So
Nice. Welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving.
yes, happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrated. So all right, well, we're gonna get right into it here. And so, how many days have you played the game? Like in the little achievement section, Benny.
Oh, let me check. Sorry, you asked you even. Let me check. I
Okay.
should have prepared.
That's all right. I did give him these questions ahead of time because
He did,
I
yeah.
didn't want to, ask uncomfortable questions to people. So I did give them ahead of time, but whether or not he prepared is doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me either way.
That's on me. I'm sorry. 1,711 days.
Wow, 1,711. Holy cow. Oh, okay. Well, it feels like that's more. So it's like a little over 4.5 years. Okay, so I'm like just over 4 years. So okay, just seems like a lot of days, man.
It is. It's a lot of days and a lot of hours per day.
Yep, yep.
Um,
So I guess speaking of that, so many days. Have you ever taken a break? Like for me, I downloaded the game and then I was just doing kind of like dailies and then just signing off after that. I was just in a random alliance. I did that for about 6 months. So that's kind of, or yeah, that was kind of like a break for me. That's what I would consider a break. Like, what about you?
I took a full break. It was a little over a year. And that was at about the year and a half mark to 2.5 years.
Okay.
Uh, at some point, I kind of got worn out from the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a bunch of Blitz releases, and Colossus still hadn't been made farmable,
Yep.
and um, they were holding on to Cyclops for so long. Growing up, Cyclops was my favorite, or maybe one of my favorites. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
probably my favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he had been data mined and even teased for a long time, but they were just holding on to him.
Yeah.
And I got tired of waiting.
Yeah.
At some point, and I don't know. And it was just before Pokemon Sword and Shield was releasing,
Okay.
so I was like, kind of slid into that
Yeah.
franchise.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, do you remember who was what team was out like when you took your break, or?
Yeah, Supernatural had come out.
Okay.
I think Marauders were rolling out.
Okay.
I had unlocked Hela. I don't quite recall the exact sequence, but I know I didn't have Mr. Sinister or Strife or any of those when I came back.
Okay. Okay.
It might also be that like I refused to blitz for Strife or something like that. Just
yeah,
like fell off.
I think that was about. I do remember the Strife Blitz. When I started like really getting into the game, I think it was either Elsa or Heimdall's campaign event is when I like first started like really getting into it. So what team or characters do you remember when you came back?
It was the patch with Doctor Doom and Pimta.
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. All right. The infamous Dark Dimension team.
Yes, yes. Although
right.
Ghost was really good.
Yes, she was
Like,
good.
she
Yes.
fulfilled her purpose.
Yep.
But it was not a good idea to make a Dark Dimension team that all takes the same origin. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah. Well, what drew you to the game initially?
The IP. I
Okay.
think it's common for most of us. It released between Black Panther and Infinity War, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and like the hype for Marvel was at its highest,
Yep.
and they showed a trailer for the game before one of the movies,
Oh, really?
and
Okay.
I was like, "Oh,
That's
this is
cool.
cool."
Yeah.
And the way they advertised it back then, and the way the game was back then, was that you can make a team with any character you want, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what they are, what hero or villain or whatever,
Right.
and they like hooked me with like the angle of theory crafting and
Uh-huh.
having fun with different characters.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know that several months later they would start with the 5 locks.
Right. Right.
But here we are.
Yep. Well, speaking of here we are, so what keeps you wanting to play the game nowadays?
Do you want to poke at that? Do I want to
Sure,
poke
be
at that?
honest. Be honest. I want people to be honest.
Crucible is fun.
Mm,
I like making progress. I like checking boxes and finishing and completing characters, or
Yep.
make upgrading them. It gives this like sense of accomplishment.
Yep.
This is gonna feel drab, but like when regular daily life becomes monotone, you're looking for some type of like. I mean, like in real life, we don't make accomplishments every day, right?
Right,
So we
yeah.
can't be expected to do that.
True.
Having these little accomplishments along the way,
Yep.
regardless of how trivial they are,
Mm-hmm.
it feels happy and
Yep.
fun.
Yep.
And then beyond that, having started content creation, it gives me a new relationship to the community,
Right.
and I've
Yep.
been really enjoying that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. We'll get into that here in a little bit more in depth here in just a few minutes. But what character who's not in game would you like to see come to the game?
I'm gonna say Purple Man /
Okay.
Kilgrave.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yep. That'd be
He
good.
from the JJ show, he
Yeah.
was such a sinister and scary
Yeah. Yep. I
villain
agree.
that I think that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be
Or
awesome.
in general, more of those like defender side characters, both
Mhm.
heroes and villains.
Yeah.
I think we can explore that universe a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
even though we did have a big city patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see more of that, like Madame Gao's and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hand rework.
Yeah, hand rework would be awesome because they have never been reworked as far as I understand. So
That is true. Yeah.
all right. So you talked about how Crucible is one of your favorite game modes. Any other game modes do you really like? War, or do you really like raids?
For me, Dark Dimension is probably my
Dimension.
favorite.
Okay. Awesome. Yep.
It's a nice exercise in planning
Yep.
and adjusting and resource management.
Yes. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna add
So
that.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's like a nice, like chunky goal
Right.
that takes a while to achieve.
Yep.
I like working towards it, and I like that you can make progress on it every day,
Mhm.
as opposed to something like Scourge, where like you can't sack anything. You have to do it or
Right.
reset.
Right. Exactly.
Whereas in Dark Dimension, even if you fail that day's attack, you can come back,
Yep.
or you can heal.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that.
Mhm.
And then Crucible and War, I like War lesser.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I'd say pretty much the same for me as well. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I brought Beni on for my as my guinea pig, because we both kind of started out doing graphics, and now we're doing streaming and all sorts of other things. So, kind of have a similar background, so to speak. So, yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit of a recap of your history with gaming? Like, what was your first game that you remember playing, and what kind of games do you like to play? Things like that.
I think like the first game that I remember is like aside from like kiddie games
Yeah.
on my when I was super little, Pokemon Sapphire is like a
Ooh.
formative game for me.
Okay.
That's like my main gaming experience.
Okay.
And
And that one was a
after
little
that,
bit. That one was a little bit on the hard side. Like if you're starting out with that game compared to like some of the older games before it, that was, from what I remember anyway, that was a little bit tougher. So.
Maybe. I mean, it was like it came out when I was 9, I think.
Okay.
And my cousin got it for me for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I carried with Pokemon a couple generations after that.
Nice.
But also like I used to play the first 3 Harry Potter PC games, and those were really fun, and I liked those.
Awesome. Cool.
And then after that, for several years, I didn't play any games at all. I think only came back with MSF.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So what were your influences growing up to shape you into the person you are today?
Oof.
It's a big question, I know. If it wasn't, so it doesn't sound like it was not as much gaming, really.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I mean, did Marvel? Were you into the comics at all? Were you into DC Comics or?
So comics, I wouldn't say. I was. I would watch the X-Men cartoons.
Okay.
That's sort of where my affinity for Cyclops came about.
Okay.
Alongside that, I think I watched Iron Man 2, but that one seemed boring to me. As I didn't understand why there was like a red one and a gray one.
Oh yeah.
Which is War Machine, and I'm like,
Yep.
why aren't you making more colors? Why are you just doing red and gray? Like, I didn't understand how,
yeah.
Or, maybe I didn't pay enough attention.
Right.
Yeah, but there was that one. Oh, the Spider-Man cartoon. That one I watched a lot.
Okay.
Actually, like, Kingpin was one of the probably the main villain of that show, or at least in my memory.
Okay.
Alongside Green Goblin. That's why for like several years I kept asking Scopely, like, why is Kingpin not Spider-Verse? Why is he not Spider-Verse? And then last year they finally gave it to him. Anyway, yeah, so I would watch those. I watched some of like the X-Men movies. X2 is like a big one in my memory.
Okay.
Spider-Man 1.
Okay. Tobey Maguire one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but for a long time after that, I didn't really watch much of, superhero content. I only ever got into the MCU proper with Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay. Interesting.
Which, I was doing a summer semester, so there wasn't much to do.
Yeah.
And like I would go to the movies a lot, and that's where I found it, and I was like, oh, there's the whole universe around this.
Yeah.
Let me get into it. And
yep.
It was a nice time to get into it because it followed up with Thor Ragnarok, Captain Marvel, and then leading into Infinity War. So it was a good time.
Yeah. Nice. Any other influences you'd say that kind of shaped how you are today, or like family, or I don't know, anything else?
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course, family was a big influence on me. It was a very, we had a very like tight family life. I wouldn't say like overbearing, but like my father was pretty, like he would look out for everything, like grades and like what are you doing. He was very involved in how I performed academically and beyond.
Right.
So he was always pushing for excellence, let's say, and that's where I like got like into math and art. I think I was always artistic, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, having that encouragement from home,
Awesome.
I did some like uh, oil painting classes in
Okay.
middle school, and then in high school I got into graphic design.
Okay.
Um, and then
Awesome.
with my let's say strong maths, it kind of seemed like architecture would be a nice path forward.
Uh-huh.
Little did I know that architecture doesn't pay any money. But you know, that's something else.
Right.
So I got into architecture school,
Mm-hmm.
and that went well.
Okay, good.
So I've been working in the field almost 7 years now,
Nice. Awesome.
or no, almost 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere along the way, we do a lot of graphics for work. They swapped programs,
Oh, okay.
and I had to adjust to a new set of software.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I was like, okay, I need to spend some time just learning the software. That's
Right.
where I started making infographics.
Oh, okay. Nice. Awesome. Awesome. So if I remember right, you did you grow up on the East Coast?
No, I
No.
grew up in Turkey.
Oh, okay. But you at one point you lived in the East Coast, and then you moved out to the West Coast, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, all right, cool. So yeah, you've been all over, haven't you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Let's see. Do you want to talk about a little bit about your journey in becoming an envoy or a content creator in general? I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I
So you
think
were
we
learning
could have
that.
started scratch the surface of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to learn the software, making graphics. I started with Web Warriors, so that
Okay.
was 2 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Almost the two
And
year anniversary, I think. Yeah.
at some point, I started working tightly with Pathfinder um, and Tana, not all together, but like separately.
Right.
And along the way, collaborated with many content creators. So Tana was an envoy, and at some point he was like, "Well, like they're telling us things, but I can't share with you, and we can't start prepping our graphics." Like he would know what the team was for the
Oh
next
yeah.
patch,
Mm-hmm.
but we can't make a
Yeah.
team graphic. So he sort of put in a good word. Um, but like 6 months later, Lori finally got me into the program.
Yep. Yep.
And that was about a year ago.
Okay.
I came in, uh, and I came in like 2 weeks before a patch, and
Okay.
somebody leaked the next patch, and
Oh.
and like I was like, oh no, I'm the new guy. It's not me, please. But good thing they trusted me and kept me
Yeah.
on,
Yep.
and it's been fun. And then last, I think, or like early this year, I started making little videos with the advanced content they gave us,
Yep.
and that was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it would take me a lot of time to make them
Mm-hmm.
because I would have to record myself and then record the footage, overlay it, and all of this was happening on my iPad
Oh
because
geez.
like I didn't really have a setup.
Oh man.
Um,
Wow.
Eventually, Taco Shooter really convinced me to stream,
Mm.
and I got my brother's old gaming computer actually, so it was intended for gaming, and I got that and
Awesome.
finally came up with a setup.
Mm-hmm.
Path Daddy helps me set up OBS and
Awesome.
everything. Um, and now I have a setup and I stream not regularly, but
Right.
often, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Awesome.
how it happened.
Cool.
Now I have like all these cords and like dongles and things, microphones, ring light.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, has there been any? So it sounds like quite a few members of the Twitch community helped you out, which I've found that to be the case for myself as well. So If anybody out there is thinking about streaming, there's a lot of people out there willing to help to answer questions and stuff. We got some in my chat right now here. On top of everybody who's helped you, has there been any like specific content creators that you kind of want to be like, oh, I like that idea, maybe I should kind of build on something like that, or anything like that?
When I started basically at launch, and back then it was uh, only a few people covering this game, and as I said, I was only ever coming back to gaming after maybe a decade or even longer.
Yeah.
And I didn't even I didn't even know gaming was as big. I didn't know about Twitch or anything. I was like, you know what? If they have like home improvement hardware tutorials on YouTube, they might have tutorials for this game on YouTube. So I searched Marvel Strike Force, and I started with Tony Big Gaming.
Okay.
And I was watching him and Casino, both of whom were like very strong strategists.
Yep.
And they would make what we call more like educational content,
right?
Which I really appreciate myself.
Right.
Entertainment content related to MSF is something I always watch. But I think the niche that I fall more into is the educational stuff. So anything like walkthroughs or guides. That's why I really, really appreciate Pathfinder Gaming for what he does.
Right.
And he's here.
Yep.
And
he's in chat right now.
I love that I get to talk to him every day.
Yep. We just got a raid from Taco Shooter, so I appreciate it, Taco. We're doing that. So like I was just talking about, the Twitch community all seems to help each other out and everything. So and Run 7's here too. Wow, we just got everybody in the house right now.
Ooh. Welcome in.
Yeah, welcome in everybody. All right, that's cool.
That's not to say I don't like fun videos or making fun videos. Some of the costume stuff that I did recently, I had fun, putting together. I have a video coming out tomorrow that's probably the video I'm most proud of, and I tried to make it both educational and fun, and I hope people respond.
Yeah.
I've been trying to learn how to be more fun than just lecturing.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing I'm trying to work through as well. So because I do like the strategy part of it. So is there anything else you want to share about like real life interests or anything else you want the people to know?
I really like cooking. I don't know if I'll ever do a cooking. Although, I've had my same like Google/YouTube account, right? On my account, there are hidden videos where, over the years, I tried to make cooking videos. Okay. So people can't see it, but there's videos of me making a sausage, making yogurt, things like that. Awesome. Hidden in my account. But,
okay. Cool. Nice.
And then I used to have a different account that I lost access to. That's even worse. That's from high school. I can't hide it, so it's out there. But I'm not gonna give the name of the page. But there's some damning content on there.
Well, it looks like by the reaction to chat, it looks like might be something you want to look into. So. Anything else? Cooking? Since you're pretty artistic, do you like play instruments or anything like that, or do you still keep up with painting?
I don't.
Or
I wish I played an instrument. I wish I kept up painting, but I've been pretty complacent with life, honestly. Yeah. So not doing any of that. But like every now and then I'll go to like a new class or something like that. Those are fun,
Awesome.
but eventually it's like either scheduling, something falls out. I did Krav Maga for a while, capoeira for a while,
Okay.
and then like I either moved away or things happened, like a global pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Something happens, and then I stop
Yep.
going, and then I don't keep up with it.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
I like martial arts.
Okay.
Um,
Cool. Nice. Awesome. Well, I think that's about it. I got two last questions for you, just to kind of wrap things up. Who, according in your opinion, are the best and the worst MCU villains?
If the Defenders were, MCU, I would
Okay.
have said Kilgrave. I think
The
he's
best,
still
yeah.
probably the scariest.
Yeah.
But like MCU proper, I know Thanos is the easy answer, but let's go with Mysterio.
Mysterio.
I think
as the best. Okay. Interesting.
Sure,
All right.
like or Vulture. I think both Vulture and Mysterio were realized really well,
Mm-hmm.
surprisingly well.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked the performances and overall how they were in their movies.
Mm-hmm.
That sequence with Mysterio, maybe they're not the most menacing, but like for me, I appreciated their realization.
Yeah.
That the illusion sequence with Mysterio was really fantastic, like as good as I could have imagined it from watching him in the cartoons and then knowing he's going to be in live action.
Yeah.
Those are great. And
Yeah.
then worst MCU villain,
Mm-hmm.
again, easy answer is Malekith, but let's go with something more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, the
Mhm.
villain was supposed to be the Scarlet Witch, right?
Right.
I don't
Mhm.
think they utilized her to her potential.
Yeah.
She was probably not the worst, but the most squandered, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I see what you're saying there.
Like you expect a lot from the Scarlet Witch.
Right.
But
yeah, I think
don't
they
think
wanted
that-
to. I think probably their aim was to kind of walk that line a little bit, but not turn her full on villain, because I'm assuming they'll have plans with her in the future to to be on the hero side again. So yeah, I definitely get that. So
She could have been like a phase villain even.
yeah, true.
Yep. But they ended it with like ooh la la, like we all love each other.
Yeah. Yep. All right, awesome. Oh, and then what future MCU project are you looking forward to the most? I know we just had the Marvels, so that I specifically worded it future because I knew you would have said that.
I'm very hyped for What If coming in a couple weeks.
Okay.
They're gonna release it once a day or like every day.
Yeah, every
for
day.
10 days or 9 days, whatever.
I think that's pretty cool that they're gonna do that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun, very hyped 10 days, and I'm looking forward to that. Movie-wise, I think Deadpool 3 is probably looking very good.
Yeah.
If all the cameos that are rumored are indeed in there,
no kidding.
it's gonna be pretty fan servicey. I hope they don't ruin it like Spider-Man No Way Home. I hope they follow through with it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully with, Ryan Reynolds making most of the decisions there, he does a pretty good job, I think. So
yeah.
Stuff
and
like
I like that photo that I keep seeing with him and Wolverine like in their costumes.
Yeah.
I hope that comes.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, and hope some people out there learned a little bit more about Beni. And I will post in the description where you can find all of his stuff. He's like the only envoy or only content creator that I know of that does Instagram content. And so, yeah. Any last words, Beni? Thanks for being on.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Well, until next time, we'll catch y'all later.